Hello, welcome back to my channel. And welcome to the first day of the reading rush. I am so excited to be filming. It's been about a month since I took a little break from YouTube, and I'm just ready to get back into it, and I'm ready to get back into it in a big way with this reading rush vlog. I'm not going to be daily vlogging, which I guess will make sense when you see this weekly vlog. I wanted to devote a bunch of time to filming and less time to editing this week, so that's kind of what I'm doing. But I'm just so excited to be reading and also to be doing a lot of other stuff. This vlog is going to be chock full of like home stuff, so if you don't like that, I'm sorry. But we got a few new things for our house, and I'm going to be doing some DIYs throughout the week, so I'm very hyped for this. I hope you guys are excited too. But to start, it is Monday at 9:30. I just got Sonic. I got a Coke. I wanted to be one of those girls that get Starbucks for the reading rush, but I don't like coffee, and tea is just not enough in the morning. So I got myself a breakfast burrito and a Coke because that's just who I am. Oh, she's spicy too. God bless. Books, I guess. We can talk about books because I didn't do a TBR for this, and to be honest, I don't know like how much I'm going to be sticking to the prompts for the reading rush, mostly because I don't know, I'm in a weird reading mood. I want to read nonfiction, I want to read some middle grade, and I've been really in the mood for historical romance, so that's probably the majority of what I'm going to be reading for this week, and I hope you guys are excited for that. Some of the books that I have definitely decided on for various prompts, and I am going to try to like finish all of the prompts, and to be honest, I don't know like how much I'm going to be sticking to the prompts for the reading rush. I have some books that I have definitely decided on. I'm all over the place today. My apologies. Today, I think I would like to read for both the book that starts with the and then also a book that inspired a movie. I really want to read The Lightning Thief. I don't know. I'm feeling it. I read it back late middle school, early high school. I can't remember exactly when the book came out, but I read it like pretty close to the release date of that book. I enjoyed it, but I was never a big like, is it Pijo? Is that what you guys call yourselves? I don't know. I was never a big Rick Riordan stan. Although, I mean, I like his books. I never finished the series. Anyway, I saw Emma from Drinking by My Shelf read these books for a readathon, and you know what? I decided that I want to read the first book in the series and then maybe watch the horrible movie as well. So that's the first thing on my list. I also am thinking I might start The Only Good Indians as well on audio because I'm going to be painting today, a project that I'll show you guys in a little bit, like a DIY project, and I need something to listen to while I do that, and I've heard a lot of great things about that book, and I was inspired to read it because of Brody from Etu Brody's video. I'll leave a link to both Emma and Brody in the description down below. Anyway, my camera's dying. I'm going to go eat my burrito. I'll get back to you guys kind of after work. We can get into the reading portion of this video. I'm so sorry this intro was so weird. I'm so weird. Are we surprised? Okay, hi friends. It is now about 7 o'clock. Today has been a very long day. Work was interesting. I got no reading done during work hours, but that's fine. I ended up right after work taping some of the area that I'm going to paint, and I got to listen to a little bit of The Only Good Indians by, I think it's Stephen Graham Jones. I'll put a picture right here. It is so good. Like I said, picked this one up off of the recommendation of Brody. It was kind of on my radar previously because I have kind of like I don't even know what to call it. I have a like affiliation, I guess, with Libro FM. It's super easy actually. If you have 1,000 followers on any social media platform, you can sign up on Libro FM to get like arcs essentially of audiobooks, which I have really been enjoying. It's put a lot of books on my radar that I wouldn't have previously known about, and they have like I think a selection of nearly 10 books every month, and you get to pick as many as you want to listen to. And like I said, you only have to have like 1,000 followers on a social media platform to get access to the audiobooks. So I'll leave a link in my description to Libro and also to the program itself. This isn't sponsored or anything, but I've really been enjoying the audiobooks that I get from them, so I thought I would throw that in here. But the story is about our main character, Lewis, who is Blackfeet, just like our author, Stephen Graham Jones. And the story is about him and this hunting trip he went on a few years back with some friends, and how that is like affecting his life now, but in like a horror sense, speculative horror sense. I don't know. I don't really know how to describe it, but it is so good. It deals with colonialism. It deals with, I don't even know how to describe it really. I'm trying to do this book justice. There's other people who have given more articulate thoughts about this book, so I'll leave links to Own Voices reviews of this book in the description down below, because I could never do justice to all of the small things in the book that I probably am missing, but I'm really enjoying it. It's so good, and from a horror perspective, it is gruesome. It's like kind of hard to listen to, the amount of gore that's in this book, but if you are wanting something kind of different and you're the horror reader already, I would definitely recommend this book. So we're having a good time. We're reading rushing. Also, sorry if this angle is super weird. I need to get my big tripod out. I have like a little handheld mini tripod that I have my camera on, but lately I've been doing a lot of like standing, which is rare for me because I'm normally laying in bed, but we have the mini tripod for now. I'm gonna look for the big one tomorrow. But I thought before I like get into reading some more and doing things, I could show you guys a little bit of my house. I know that I promised a house tour that may or may not be coming. I haven't really decided, mostly because I'm like redoing most of my house at the moment, but I'll show you what I have so far and kind of show you the project I'm working on. Warning in advance, everything is so messy in here, especially since we are doing this DIY project. So let me show you the DIY and then I'll kind of show you around. So Nugget is down there. He loves being in this area and he really likes going outside. So that's why he's chilling down here. But this is the wall that I'm doing right now. I feel like it's very dark, but I saw this DIY on Pinterest of board and batten. That's what this is. And I just thought it would jazz up this really big blank wall. I don't think you can really see the full size of it until I go like this. There's just so many blank walls in this house, but this is one that I figured I could tackle easily first. And I think it's also hard when you are trying to decorate, knowing what to add until you have all your furniture and stuff in place. So anyway, this is the board and batten wall I'm working on. Right now I am working to tape because I need to do caulking before I end up painting. So that's what I've been doing. Ran out of tape, I had to go on an adventure to get tape. I don't think I've told you guys, but we moved to a really small town and there's not a lot around us. So I had to drive like 20 minutes to go get some more painter's tape. That's why I've been gone for so long. Not that you guys would know that, but I've been gone for about an hour. Okay, so this is the kitchen, which I don't even want to talk about all of the mess, but I really like it. I didn't get to pick any of the finishes in our house, but it's beautiful. I love my kitchen. And the cabinets are kind of a mushroomy color, and so is the backsplash. So the board and batten I'm gonna be painting white to match the living room a little bit better. This is another space that I'm just completely gonna redo. I'm not redoing the kitchen in any regard, it's pretty, but I'm getting rid of a lot of the furniture in here. It's just too small. I don't think you can really see the dimension and the scale of this room, but it is quite large and it is 2 stories. I guess I could go on the stairs to show you guys. I guess I will do that. Let's do that. But essentially the furniture that we have down here right now is just, it's a little too small in scale. And I've also I just have some ideas in terms of like what I want to do decor wise. We just bought a new couch that is going to replace both the couch and the chair. It's going to start at about like this wall and go about to the window, a little bit past the window, and it's white to have a little bit more contrast. That's something that I don't love about the current space. Everything is just very beige, which is not the worst thing in the world, obviously, but I want more high contrast. So anyway, getting a white couch, it's gonna come in a couple of months, but the board and batten will kind of tie in nicely with a white couch. So anyway, I feel like that was all very convoluted, but yeah, that's basically my downstairs. So yeah, this is the kitchen, the dining table that I was able to use in here, which I wasn't sure when we moved in because there's really no designated dining area. Living room, and then like front door entryway, and then on this side is our garage and laundry room. So anyway, this is the downstairs. Like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna do a full tour at some point, but that's it for now. And Peppy wanted to say hi. So anyway, my plan for the rest of the day is to finish getting the tape up on the wall, finish the Only Good Indians, caulk, hard emphasis on the L, paint the wall, and then I want to roll out this new rug that I just got. Okay, we're not gonna put the hair behind the ear. That's not a cute look. I did get a big neutral rug. I'm gonna be doing rug layering. I am gonna flash a picture right now of like the mood board that I created for this space, but this is the big like jute rug that I'm gonna be layering down here. This rug is just like too small for the space right now, and it's so echoey in here, so I'm hoping this helps to dampen the noise. So that's my goal, is to paint and then roll this big rug out, which I know doesn't sound like a big deal, but I feel like it's gonna be kind of an endeavor. So I think I'll check in with you guys. Once I start painting, I might do a little bit of a time lapse for the painting, maybe. That's it for me. I'll check in with you guys later. I don't think I'm gonna get to start on the lightning things today because I really wanna get this paint project done, but I will finish the Only Good Indians. That's what we're gonna do today. One challenge checked off. Okay, so I got some things done, other things, not so much. So I did end up rolling out the rug. That was an ordeal. I sweated. Sweat? Is sweated the past tense of sweat? Anyway, rolled out the rug and I ended up caulking the wall, but I ran out of caulk halfway through, so I couldn't even paint today. But caulking took like 2 hours and I was able to finish The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. I'm at a loss for words. It was so fucking good. Definitely a 5-star read. I don't know if I know I didn't speak very eloquently previously about this book, and I also don't know if I got it right. If this book is considered speculative, it's definitely horror, I know that. So much to unpack. I think the themes of colonialism, intergenerational trauma, just culture, so excellently interwoven with the horror plot. And what have I been doing prior to this? I need to read more books by native authors. That's part of the reason I picked this book up, but wow, so good. I will say it is a little hard to get into at the very beginning because you're kind of thrown into action. So I would say get past the first like chunk of the book. I listened to it on audio, so I'm not sure really how the book is split up. I think it's like sections. So get past that first kind of section and introductory piece, if that makes sense. And then I think it'll make more sense, if that makes sense. Wow. I can't speak today, but this was so excellent. Glad I read this. Great start to the reading rush. I'm gonna go ahead and flash my little graphic that I made for this so we can check off that box for a book starting with V or the, however you want to say that. But yeah, that was just a great start to the reading rush. That being said, it is 10:30 and I am beyond fucking exhausted. It feels good though. You know, sometimes I think, at least for me, this part of quarantine has been a lot of unknown. I live in Texas and things are getting pretty bad right now in terms of COVID deaths and people not being smart and social distancing. It's worse than a lot of places. And I think knowing that and knowing that there kind of is no end in sight, that sounds pretty bleak. I feel like I can get very bored. I mean, I'm very grateful that I get to be home in my house, you know, the privilege to be able to like not be sick and to not have to go out of my house to work. That being said, I get really fucking bored and I haven't been moving a lot, like moving my body and actually getting exhausted. So I've been very anxious when I sleep and I don't know if I'm making any sense. Have you guys related? Have you guys felt so bored and kind of like nothing has meaning anymore? Getting very fake deep and very sleepy, but I guess what I'm trying to say is getting to caulk the wall was nice because now my body is tired. I am mentally tired and I'm ready to go to sleep and be refreshed for tomorrow. I'm so sorry if you clicked on this vlog. I apologize. I'm gonna go to sleep before I say some more stupid shit, but I'll be back tomorrow. Hello, happy Wednesday. As you guys probably saw yesterday, I didn't do much. I finished an entire book and checked off 2 prompts or like challenges, I guess, for the reading rush, but I was so overwhelmed with this project that I ended up completing yesterday that I didn't have time to really vlog and I was exhausted. So it's Wednesday. I'm excited. As you guys probably saw on my time lapse, I did get to start on The Lightning Thief. Honestly, this whole reading rush has just been very joyful. Like, I'm very glad to be participating, but this book especially is just making me super, super happy. Like I think I told you guys on the first day, I have read this book before, but it's been a really long time. I've forgotten nearly everything except for like the basic premise, and oh, it's just so heartwarming. I don't know if that's the right word, but like I'm just feeling a lot of joy reading this book, so I'm very grateful for that. Right now it is 12:15 and I'm sorry if you can hear construction noise. They are putting up a couple of houses like close to mine. I live in a new neighborhood, which will come up again later today, but I am making lunch right now. I'm making dino nuggets and tater tots because I'm an adult. Hayden made us hot dogs with Shake Shack dupe cheese sauce. If you've been to Shake Shack, you know what I'm talking about, but we have leftover cheese sauce and I'm gonna dip my little nuggets and tater tots and cheese, and you know what? I'm excited. That's pretty much all I have to tell you right now. I thought though I would show you guys my finished board and batten wall and the rug that I rolled out. I told you guys I was gonna do that and never showed you guys, but let me do that. And then I think after lunch I'll tell you guys about the book that I have completed for 2 of the challenges. It was interesting. I have a lot of thoughts, so anyway, let me show you this stuff and then we'll talk after I... Okay, so there she blows. This is my finished board and batten wall. The covers are not on the outlets yet, so it looks a little bit unfinished, but I'm pretty happy with it. The only thing that doesn't look great is this one panel. We cut it incorrectly. We had to do one panel and then like a strip up here, and I tried to cover it. It looks a little bad, but the rest is nice and perfectly smooth, and I'm just really happy with the way it turned out. Let me show you guys the full kitchen so you guys can see what it looks like. Again, it's still really messy in here. I think I might make that one of my tasks for today, cleaning up this space. But yeah, here's the board and batten, and then there's the kitchen. I don't know why it is so dark in here. Oh, and then I'm standing on the rug right now, but this is the new rug. I just feel like it fits the space of this room a lot better. I think the second rug that I'm layering on top of this one is coming today too, and in which case I'll show you that too when it comes in. But there it is. I feel like it looks kind of bad with this couch. I think it needs more high contrast with like a stark white, but I'm happy with it. And it's already dampened a lot of the echo, which I don't know if you can tell. I'm just so excited for my couch to come. I custom ordered a couch, which was kind of a stupid idea, kind of a good idea, I don't know. Pretty much the entire time I've been in like college and post-grad, I've had really inexpensive furniture, which, you know, makes sense, but I decided to splurge a little bit on a couch. We saved up for a while for it, and it's custom made. I got to like pick the fabric and everything, but it won't be here until like September, so I'm impatient, and it's really hard like getting all of the other stuff into the house and not having the couch yet, but not a big deal. Definitely a first world problem. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and eat my lunch and I'll get back to you guys afterwards. Okay, it's like 2:45 and I thought I would finally give you guys that update on the book that I read yesterday and then how I'm feeling about The Lightning Thief. I was super vague earlier about my thoughts about The Lightning Thief beyond just like, oh, it makes me happy. So I want to give you guys more of an update. I wish I was sitting in my comfy chair right here to update you, but Pepe decided to take my spot. I don't even think you can see him because he blends in with the blanket, but I read The Groom Will Keep His Name by Matt Ortiel, I believe, and I listened to this completely on audio. Again, this is one of the selections I think for July for Libro FM's like ARC program. It's not an ARC program, but again, I'll leave the link in the description. I should really just figure out what the name of the program is, but this was a series of essays about a gay Filipino man's experience in life and in dating. And I liked the concept, and there were certain elements of this book that I absolutely adored, but there were some elements that kind of fell flat for me. I don't star rate my nonfiction, so I don't feel like I have to quantify my enjoyment of this book, and honestly, I don't know that I would ever want to quantify my enjoyment of someone's life experiences that they're trying to like put on a page. But each essay kind of chronicles Matt's dating life and kind of the things that he's realized about how colonialism and his culture has impacted his view of the world and of men, which I thought was pretty interesting. The part that kind of fell apart for me, interestingly enough, was the detailed, I don't want to say descriptions, but he goes into detail about his past relationships, and I didn't really feel like that was something that I cared about. I didn't really care about his dating history. I cared more about like the general thoughts he had about dating, if that makes sense. It didn't seem like he learned a lot from any of his relationships. That sounds really bad, but I don't know. I didn't care about the men themselves. I cared more about the lessons, and the pieces of history that Matt included were perfect. It didn't feel like I was reading a textbook or anything, but there was just like a lot of repetition with all of these failed relationships, and I just didn't care about the men. I cared more about him and his experience. And I guess those men are part of his experience, but that part I didn't love that. And I think part of it too is the fact that these were a collection of essays, and since I was listening to them all back to back on audio, it got kind of repetitive, and some of the themes of each essay kind of overlapped, so it felt repetitive at times. But that being said, I did really appreciate a lot of the commentary in this book. I think if the description of the book interests you at all, I would check it out, because it was an enjoyable read. And I read that book specifically because I've been wanting to get more into nonfiction, and that was one of the prompts, I guess, or challenges for the reading rush, is to read a book in a genre that you don't read enough or you're like scared to read more in, and then also book that is the same color as your birthstone. Mine's topaz. I'm a November baby, and I did the like traditional orangey topaz, and this book cover has like a yellowy orange thing going on, so I can check off 2 boxes, so that's fun. Okay, now we can talk about The Lightning Thief. So what to say, I'm about 100 pages in, and right now Percy is kind of figuring out camp life and what this camp is for, what everything means. I don't think he's fully understanding that these kids are descendants of gods, and that means that he is one too. But just, I didn't realize how much humor was in this. I mean, I should have expected it because it's a middle grade book, and I'm laughing almost every page, and then the descriptions are also really getting me in an atmospheric place. I don't know, I really appreciate books that aren't like purple prosy, but that have enough description to where I feel like I'm there, and the descriptions of the summer camp setting are really making me happy, especially since we can't really go outdoors right now. Also, I wouldn't want to go outdoors right now because it's over 100 degrees in Texas, but it's bringing me back to the couple of times that I went to summer camp when I was a kid, loving that. And I'm just excited to get deeper into this book and see some of the character relationships form. Right now, there's not a whole lot of like character relationship besides Percy getting introduced to everybody. I'm excited to get more into it. I think honestly, I was going to try to read this and something else today, but I think I'm just gonna stick to this. I want to be able to really like savor this and give you guys all of my thoughts and feelings. Sorry if that's boring for you, but that's just kind of the mood that I'm in. I think tomorrow's goal is going to be a little ambitious. I would really like to get 2 books done. I want to do the challenge that's like pick the first book you see. It might be the first book you touch. I'm gonna make it the first book you touch if that's not actually the prompt. I have a big stack of historicals that I just bought and I kind of want to just like run my hands over them and pick one. I think that would be fun. And then I need to do the prompt that is read a book outdoors or like outside of your house. I'm gonna have to wake up at like the crack of dawn tomorrow and read some poetry or something really quick outside to fulfill that challenge. So those are the 2 things that I need to get done tomorrow. Friday's gonna be interesting because I'm getting a haircut, so I don't know how much reading I'm gonna get done. My Fridays are usually pretty busy work-wise, so I can't really read during the workday, but I also can't really read after work because I'm getting a haircut. Anyway, this week is interesting. I was hesitating like telling you guys ahead of time, but I am going see my parents. I'm going to my parents' house on Saturday, so that'll be interesting too. And we have some plans to do stuff on Saturday. Social distanced, but some cool stuff. I've just talked a lot. I am going to read some more of this and then I think I will update you guys once I get maybe another 100 pages in. Let's say like, yeah, 200 pages, I'll update you guys. I'll be back. Okay, it is 7:48 p.m. I am in my car. I had to stop at the Amazon locker in town to pick up a mat for my cat's food and water bowls because Pepe insists on spilling his water out of his bowl onto the floor and I wanted to prevent that. This one has like a lip to collect any water. So anyway, the reason I had to come to a locker and not just get this stuff delivered to my house, I kind of alluded to it earlier in the day, but essentially my neighborhood and my house specifically are not on Google Maps, and as a result, Amazon Logistics, which is like Amazon's own delivery people, don't know where to go when they deliver things to my house. For some reason, like UPS gets it, FedEx gets it, the Postal Service gets it too. It's literally just Amazon Logistics, and anytime I've tried to order anything to my house, it takes the Amazon delivery people up a cliff. I live in the hill country now, like I live far out, and it literally takes the Amazon delivery people up a cliff, and some people get so frustrated that they will just dump whatever you purchased on the side of the road. And the reason I know that is because one of the Amazon drivers was kind enough to call me at one point and like find the directions. He said he did drive up the cliff and he saw like literal packages on the side of this cliff. So now I decide to just not order anything from Amazon. For some reason, like you can't specify what delivery service brings your stuff to you, and so it's always a toss-up on whether stuff's actually gonna get to me. So I just order things to an Amazon locker. Amazon's a horrible company. We all know this, but sometimes it's unavoidable. Anyway, I thought I could briefly update you guys on how I'm liking The Lightning Thief. I'm like 170 pages and I didn't even get to 200 pages. I am finishing this book tonight though. I fucking adore this book. I posted a picture on my Instagram story of a quote from it. Grover can only play like Mozart and Hilary Duff on the pan flute. These are the gems that I need. This is the sort of entertainment that I'm looking for right now. Just give me some like lighthearted, stupid shit. I'm loving it. Was kind of expecting to not like Percy as a character because he's a little bit naive at the beginning, but I feel like a lot of his actions are super understandable and he's like a pretty likable character thus far, which I'm appreciating. Annabeth, a little annoying, but I'm liking Percy and I'm liking the story. The only thing that I'm like kind of not looking forward to, I don't remember much from the book from reading it first time around. I mean, it's definitely been 10 years at least since I've read this book. Probably more like 15 years. I don't remember what happens. I just remember in the movie the scene at the casino in Vegas where they play Poker Face by Lady Gaga. Anyway, I'm not super thrilled at the fact that they're leaving wherever they're going. I'm not super I'm not super excited about them leaving Camp Half-Blood because I was just really liking the atmosphere there, and I know he has to like go on a quest or whatever, but like I was liking the camp atmosphere. It's fine. I'm sure I'll enjoy the quest. Hopefully there's gonna be a lot of like witty banter between Annabeth and Percy and it'll all make up for like my annoyance that they're leaving. Okay, that's it. I'm so sorry I was rambling for so long. I'm gonna go home, I guess. I might get a milkshake first. I'll probably get a milkshake first. I'll see you guys once I'm another 100 pages into the book. Hello, happy Thursday. It is 1:13. I'm getting it back to you guys a little bit later. I know I didn't update you last night. Mental health was like a little bit weird at night and I didn't get to finish The Lightning Thief, which meant I had to finish it this morning, which means I got kind of a late start to my day, which is kind of frustrating because I have a lot of stuff that I need to get done today in addition to just reading, but my plans have sort of changed reading wise as well. I think I talked to you guys yesterday about reading in the morning, which I obviously didn't get to do. I didn't get to like go outside and read poetry, but I think I'm gonna do that Saturday morning before me and my sister leave for my parents' house. But let me tell you guys kind of the fun stuff I have planned for today, and then we can select the historical fiction that I'm gonna read today. I think my game plan is to like get a lot of stuff done at home, read half of a historical fiction book, and then read the other half tomorrow, which I think I can easily do after my haircut. As you guys can tell, hopefully, I really need a haircut. I really wanted to avoid getting a haircut because I know it's not like the most safe thing to do right now, but it's becoming more than a nuisance, and I know that's definitely like not a huge issue in the big scheme of things, but I'm excited to get a haircut. I only get my hair cut like once a year, so hopefully I can get it cut and never have to like go back again until all of this COVID stuff is over. So anyway, today I mostly need to clean my house. I didn't realize how bad it had gotten. I feel like that sort of happens during these sorts of readathons, read-alongs, whatever, because you're just so caught up in everything that you have to do for it that you don't end up taking care of yourself or your home that well. But taking care of myself okay, I just have not really been taking care of my home, and I don't like leaving for trips and then coming back to a dirty house. So I mean, Hayden will be here, he's not coming with us, but I just figure it would be good to get the downstairs cleaned. So I'm gonna clean up the kitchen, and that kind of is a good thing because I'm also gonna try to take the thumbnail for this video today, which doesn't sound like it should be a big deal, but I personally don't love for myself, because I'm not good at it, the like 4-picture vlog thumbnails that everybody seems to do. I think they're so cute. I just can never figure out like 4 good enough thumbnails to go into that one thumbnail, if that makes sense. So I do have kind of a vision for what I want. When I first started, I didn't really have a vision for what I wanted my thumbnails to be or like the types of pictures, but the longer I've been on YouTube, the more I'm like, ooh, I have a really good idea for the thumbnail for this video. So I do, I think, have a good one. Hopefully my vision works out, but I want to take a picture in front of my board and batten wall downstairs, so like my kitchen needs to be clean. Do that. Cleaning, thumbnail picture, and then I also need to start packing. Oh, I didn't even tell you guys how I built up Lightning Thief, so let's do that, and then we can pick the historical. I gave it 5 stars. None of us were very shocked, right? Like it was really good. The only thing I think that frustrated me a little bit, and I guess it's kind of to be expected given that this is sort of like a younger young adult book, or I guess you could call it middle grade. I don't know how people categorize this series, but there's a lot of predictability, which is not a terrible thing. I just could see most of the outcomes of each section of the quest as they came, and I also anticipated like the reveal at the end of the book. It didn't take away from my enjoyment at all, but I wished that there had been something surprising that had happened, or that some of the like side quests I guess they had been on, or like some of the impediments to them getting to their final destination had been a little bit more drawn out, because it felt like everything was just a little bit convenient, which again is not really the biggest deal, but just something that I thought about as I was reading. I liked it a lot, and now I kind of want to buy all of the books in hardcovers. So let me know if you guys want me to do vlogs reading those books, because I'm very interested in finishing the series. I think I've only read the first 2 books ever. I don't even remember anything that happened in the second book though, so it could be fun, maybe. I don't know, let me know in the comments if you guys want me to read the rest of those books. I finally brought some of the books upstairs that I had purchased recently. It's funny, I was going over like my goals for 2020, like my reading goals, and one of my goals was like, I'm gonna buy 20 or less books. But you know what, 2020 happened, and a lot of us are coping by buying books. I have a lot of historicals to choose from right now. I think there's a big like resurgence of historical romance, and so I purchased a few older ones and some newer ones. I have a stack of 6 right here. I did get more than 6, but these are the ones that I'm not reading for other videos, so I figured we could pick from one of these as the challenge. Pick the first book you touch. So I'm gonna hold them up, close my eyes, and pick one, and I'm very nervous, but I'm also very excited. I'll show you guys the ones we have just because like we're here. I have My Fake Rake by Eva Lee. I don't know much about this one. For some reason I thought this one was set in America, but it's actually set in England, which is good because I don't really think I'm gonna like American set historicals. Maybe that's just me. This cover is really cute, and this is one of the newer historicals. Same with Brazen and the Beast by Sarah McLean. I got sent this, I think, from Leo PR. I cannot remember, but I read the first book in the series and really adored it, and it has a cute little step back. I got these next ones secondhand. This is Something Wonderful by Judith McNaught. I thought this was another one in her series that's like along with Whitney My Love. I can't remember what the name of those books, the name of that series is. I thought this was part of it. I don't think it actually is, but it's a historical, and it is again set in London or England, so exciting. This one I got because of the step back. It's so pretty. It's called The Prince's Bride. I like it's got like a rose in the center, and then when you open it, it's got like the full step back. And this one is about a prince, which if you read historicals, you know that oftentimes the male love interest is like a duke, or he is someone who's like new money and he's like not a part of the ton, but you never really see people getting with princes. I also have Desperate Duchesses by Eloisa James. Again, this is an amazing step back. That's the main reason I got it, but I do love Eloisa James. I have read some of her books before. This one is about a rake. We love a good rake, and his name is Damon, so we love that too. And then I also have A Duke of Her Own by Eloisa James. Again, another step back. I was on the hunt for step backs. This one is very like steamy. It looks good, so let's go ahead and select a book, and that will be what we start on today. Need a good historical in my life. All right, keep these steady. Okay, we will be reading Desperate Duchesses by Eloisa James, which I'm actually really excited for. She is an author that I have become familiar with. I think I've read 2 of her books and I loved both of them. This one I'm really excited for. I mean, it's a rake named Damon. I am going to go and clean up and then I think take the thumbnail and then we can get started on this, but I'll get back to you after that little time lapse, most likely. Okay, so I just finished taking thumbnail pictures and I spent way too much time on them, but I am really happy with how they turned out. Well, specifically the one that I used, I'm happy with how it turned out. That being said, I have not read very much. Tried to get into, what is it? Desperate Duchesses, and I have to say it's like kind of confusing. That's something that's sort of common, I would say, for Eloisa James books. You know what, it's kind of echoey. I was going for like a cute background moment, but I don't know that it's working right now with this terrible echo. But as you can see, we did end up cleaning back there. We'll just come into my extra messy bedroom. Okay, essentially what I was trying to say is that Eloisa James books read a little bit more confusing or complicated than a lot of historical romance. I think if you have read Tessa Dare before and you try to read something from Eloisa James, you're going to be really surprised at the difference in writing style, which I guess shouldn't be overall that surprising given that every historical romance author has like their own style, but there's so many of them out there that you figure there would be some sort of like common thread, or that you would kind of guess that if it's like a contemporary historical fiction writer that it would be similar to another. But Eloisa James, I think her stuff is a little bit more complex and complicated. This particular book was written in 2007, and I think that might be not part of the issue, but it is kind of trying hard, if that makes sense. I was noticing that when I was reading a Julia Quinn book, when I was reading The Duke and I, it definitely reads a little bit more formal, a little bit more like Pride and Prejudice, as opposed to, like I said, something like Tessa Dare. So the accessibility is not there, and then on top of that, you've got the issue of multiple points of view, which I've never really experienced in historical beyond just like hero-heroine POVs. This one, again, I think, I don't want to say she's trying too hard because I haven't read that much into it and I don't want to like talk shit if it ends up being a really good book, but I think it's going to be a love square. It's about this woman who has her sights set on a duke. Her father is super embarrassing from what I can tell. He wrote a poem about his daughter to try to like get her married off to a suitor, and it got published in the newspaper, but it got misinterpreted, so everyone thinks that she's like hideous and that she has some sort of disability. So she's really ashamed of her dad, and she thinks he's very like pie in the sky and just like he doesn't care enough about society to her. Her goal is to marry a duke who's like very sophisticated and would never make a fool of her, is her thing. So she sees this guy at a ball, she thinks, oh my god, he's so handsome. She decides she's in love with him and she's gonna follow him to London to get him to fall for her. But that guy is interested in a different woman, but that different woman is interested in a different man. So like I said, kind of a love square situation. And the only reason I know that is because I looked at the reviews from people, and the reviews are so mixed. Some people absolutely love this. They say it's kind of Gossip Girl-esque, and then other people say this is stupid and confusing. So I don't know which camp I'm gonna fall into. I'm only like a chapter in, but I'm just sort of like, I don't know about all of this. Anyway, that's sort of where I'm at. It is almost 7 o'clock. Hayden is going to pick us up my favorite chicken. If you didn't know, I don't eat beef, so my only form of protein really is chicken or processed meat. me. My body is a dumpster. I really should treat myself better. But he's getting us fried chicken and I'm really excited, and that's what we're gonna have for dinner. After that, I'm gonna try to get about halfway into this book, but like we'll see. I was kind of thinking I might put it down and try to pick something else up, but I'll keep you posted. Okay, so I am in chapter 5. Page 67 of Desperate Duchesses by Eloisa James. I feel like I should have been getting a lot farther in this, and I am gonna try to get to page 200 tonight at the very least, but I think I am enjoying this. I didn't know what to expect, like I told you guys previously, but I think now that I'm starting to get a feel for the characters and their relationships with one another, things are going better. I think it's kind of hard with historicals because these characters have like names, but they also have titles, and sometimes it can get confusing what title belongs to what person, and the author will often like interchange the names, and you're like, wait, are these two different people or is it the same person? So now that I got the hang of it, I am understanding the story. It's giving me big like Pride and Prejudice meets The Importance of Being Earnest vibes. It's just a very like interesting story. So I told you guys previously that our main character Roberta has a really eccentric father. She ends up going to London to try to get with this guy. His name is Villiers, I think. I don't know his like actual name. I'm assuming that's his title. He wants to get with Villiers. She's never actually talked to him. I think she like bumped into him in the hallway once, but they've never really talked besides that. She goes to London to wow, that's not the word I'm looking for, to try to get some guidance from a distant cousin of hers named Gemma, and Gemma is facing her own issue. So Gemma is married to the Duke of Beaumont and they don't really get along very well. Gemma was in France for a really long time and now she's very much like into Parisian style and is very like not proper, I suppose you could say. And so her and the Duke of Beaumont don't get along very well, but Gemma has taken Roberta under her wing and they're going to help Roberta catch a man. Also, one of Gemma's friends, Harriet, decides to come to town because she's asking Gemma a favor. The favor that Harriet is asking Gemma, it's like, hey, my husband recently passed away, Harriet's husband, and passed away by suicide because he lost a chess match. Apparently chess is an important component of this book, but he was embarrassed by Villiers so much, so Harriet's husband Benjamin played with Villiers, who was like Roberta's love interest, and Villiers was so good he beat Benjamin and Benjamin killed himself essentially. And Harriet's pissed about this because she really liked Benjamin, and she asked Gemma, hey, will you beat Villiers in chess to shame him so he feels bad for what he's done or whatever. And she also asks Gemma to potentially have an affair with Villiers. Also, Harriet apparently previously had an affair with Villiers. He finger blasted her, apparently, in a carriage. So, I don't know. As you can tell, there's a lot of moving parts, and I feel like I was probably confusing you just by trying to state all of that. I am enjoying it, and I wanted to like lay that out there in case you were interested in this book, because I'm not sure if you would have gotten it on your own if you try to read this, because it's a little complicated. Not that my explanation probably like makes anything clearer, but it's interesting. Curious to see where things go, curious to see who ends up with who. The love square is obviously a lot bigger than I had anticipated. I don't even know if it's a square, like a bunch of disparate lines. So I only really care about Roberta, and it's supposed to be Roberta's book, so we'll see how much focus is put on her. I think Gemma thus far is my favorite character because she's just very like, she doesn't give a shit and she likes pissing off her husband, and I just admire that. So anyway, and I continue reading. I'll let you know when I'm at the halfway point what I'm thinking. Maybe that'll be tonight, maybe it'll be tomorrow morning. I'm not putting pressure on myself, you know? Okay, hopefully this angle isn't horrible. I don't have a tripod with me right now, but hopefully you got some nice time-lapse footage of my drive to this hair appointment. It was ugly. I told you guys I was gonna update you once I got to 200 pages on Desperate Duchesses. Everything that I said previously kind of stands. I'm still enjoying it, but do you ever just read a book and you're like, I know that I'm enjoying this, but I know that like most people wouldn't? Because I definitely wouldn't recommend this book. It's unlike any other historical that I've ever read, and I guess maybe if you don't like the cheesiness of historical romances and you didn't like Tessa Dare books for some reason, you might enjoy this, but I would say it's very like different. I don't know how else to really describe it besides what I said yesterday. Things are developing. I still don't really know who Villiers is going after. I don't know if he's gonna go after Gemma or Harriet, but I know Roberta is still very much into Villiers, even though she's making out with the Duke of Griffin, who is Gemma's brother. And the thing is, like, I kind of root for them to be together. His name's Damon and Roberta, like, I want them to get together, but he keeps pointing out that they're cousins, even though they're not really cousins. It's like really far removed, and like, yes, sure, I guess nobility kind of like intermarries, but stop pointing it out because it's gross. I think that's pretty much it, to be honest. I feel like I should have something bold to say, but I don't. Today has just been like not the best. It hasn't been a terrible day. I've been stressed because I really fucked around at the beginning part of the day, like before lunch, and then I was like, oh shit, I have to put makeup on, put clothes on, get this work done, and then be able to be done by 3 because I forgot that I had to leave like at 3 for this hair appointment. So not the biggest deal. I don't know, I'm a little overwhelmed, but I'm excited to like go get my hair cut because this is the last time you guys will see this hair. I feel like I should probably put my leg down. Literally like hits my crotch. So I don't know how short I'm gonna go. Definitely not like short. I love short hair. I want to cut my hair like chin length or like just I want short hair at some point, but I want long hair for my wedding. I don't know when I'm gonna get married, so I don't want to like chop my hair off prematurely and it not have like time to grow back. So I'm thinking maybe like right here, which would be that much hair to cut off. So fingers crossed. I'm also gonna get colored, but I don't know what color. I don't know if I want to get it darker, if I want some highlights. The world's my oyster. I might let my lovely hairstylist decide. But that's pretty much it. I'll update you guys once I get my hair cut. Hello, happy Sunday. As you guys can probably tell, I didn't update you guys yesterday because I was traveling to my parents' house. I don't know if I've like told you guys this, but my parents moved right before the coronavirus pandemic. Haven't seen them since before the move, and they moved kind of far, so it took a while to get here, but we're here now, and I can tell you about the books that I read, or one book that I fucking finished finally. Also, I cut my hair, as I told you guys in the last clip. It's quite a bit shorter than I had originally anticipated, which is funny because I think I told you guys I was going to cut it right there, but it just feels so much shorter. And I also got highlights instead of going darker, which I didn't think I was going to do, so just different changes all around, but I'm happy. I feel like it looks pretty fun, and it's nice for summer because I was just getting so fed up with my long hair. Let's talk about this book. Okay, I did finish Desperate Duchesses by Eloisa James. Did I enjoy it? No. Would I recommend it? Also no. I gave it 2 stars, and I'm kind of upset because I think last time I was talking to you guys, I said like this was a book that I was enjoying, but I didn't think other people would enjoy. But now I'm firmly in the camp of like, I did not enjoy this, and I don't think other people would enjoy it either. It's just everything fell apart in the last part of this book. The people that I thought were gonna get together, some of them did, some of them did not. I don't want to like spoil the plot if anyone decides for some fucking reason to pick up this book. The main romance in this book, Roberta and Damon, they do get together, but it just didn't matter. If that makes sense. It's not that it didn't matter, it just didn't feel impactful in any meaningful way because the entire book she claims to be in love with a different man who's like, you know, very austere and doesn't really have any interest in marriage. He has like a bunch of mistresses, and she's like, oh, like that's just very traditional and that's how everybody does it, and that's fine with me. And you're like, obviously you're stupid, like just get with the guy that you actually like. So she does get with him, but development of that relationship just wasn't exciting. They basically just like make out and act like children, and they don't ever discuss important things. And there's actually a scene at the end of the book where Roberta is talking to Gemma about how Damon, who is Gemma's brother also, is really good at sword fighting and chess. And I was like, how does she not know this about him? Like, that seems like kind of surface level shit. So I just didn't love this. I was disappointed. And then the whole Gemma and Villiers sort of subplot, nothing ended up happening. I think Villiers gets his own book, and I think Gemma gets her own book, and it's not a book together. So it's like, what was the fucking point of having them as a side plot? I don't know. Again, I think this was an ambitious book. I appreciate what it did. I appreciate Eloisa James as a writer. It just didn't really work for me, disappointingly enough. I will be taking a picture of this book for Instagram with that beautiful step back. However, I will say in the caption, I did not enjoy this book, so glad to be done with that. That does, however, mark off a challenge for me though, which was pick the first book that you touch. So now I think we only have, if I'm not mistaken, 2 challenges left, and I think this book will fulfill those 2 challenges, which I'm very excited about. One challenge that I haven't done is read a book outside, completely outside of your house, and since I'm at my parents' house, I'm not in my own house. I think that can work. And then the second challenge that I have yet to complete is the read a book set in a different continent than your own. Or was it country? I think it was continent. But I think this would work either way, and it is Clap and You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. I know a lot of people have been picking this book up for that challenge. I was having a really hard time figuring out a book that was set in a different continent that wasn't just like set in England, so I'm glad to have this one. I think one of the characters lives in the Dominican, yeah. So I'm excited about this one, and I'm even more excited because a subscriber sent me this book. So thank you, Emma, for sending this my way. I'm very excited to get to read this, and since it is Sunday and it is 7 o'clock, I am going to just sit in this carpeted room, the only carpeted room in the house that has decent acoustics, and I'm going to attempt to read and finish this book all in one sitting, which I don't think will be too hard given that it is written in verse, but I will update you guys as I go. I'm sure this is going to be fantastic, and I think this will be a really strong way to finish off the reading rush. Even if this setting is not necessarily the strongest, I think you guys understand by now that I'm not an aesthetic booktuber. So anyway, I'm gonna get reading. I'll update you guys once I'm like, I don't know, 100 pages in? Okay, so I am a quarter of the way into Clapping You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo, and I am unsurprisingly enjoying it. At the beginning was a little confused on how the story was starting, and also a little confused at POVs because I'm stupid, but I think mostly because of the way that like some of the pages are labeled. I don't know if you can see this, but it says like one girl's name and then there's a plane and then the next girl's name, and I guess that probably like signifies a switch in POV, but I'm just stupid and couldn't pick up on that the first couple of times. But the two girls have very distinct voices and have very different lives, so it's pretty easy to tell quickly like which POV is which. So the two girls are Camino, and I think the other one is pronounced Yahaira. I googled it, so I'm hoping that that's correct. Camino is in the Dominican, and her father I don't think lives with her hardly ever, like he comes to visit, and I think he lives full-time mostly in New York with his other daughter Yahaira, and they don't know each other, Camino and Yahaira, but I think Yahaira knows potentially that she has a sister, or she knows some secret that her father was keeping from her. But the start of the story, their father tragically dies in a plane crash, and I think we are going to see that they are going to meet or discover each other, and I'm hoping that that can maybe help them heal from their grief. But it's interesting to see the different ways that they interact with their family members and the different ways in which they're handling their grief. I think the writing in this is absolutely stunning. I am especially enjoying the female-female relationship that Yahaira has with her friend. I think it's Andrea. It's good. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I'm gonna keep reading. I will update you guys once I am maybe halfway done with the book, maybe farther, who knows. I want to get far enough where I can tell you guys what I'm thinking. Okay, I'm 278 pages into this book, which means I only have about 100 pages left, and it's good. It's still good. The girls have finally not like met up, they're talking. You really feel the emotions when you realize like what it means for them to find out about each other and find out that their father is a complicated person that they didn't fully understand. I think whether or not you've experienced grief, I think we can all kind of relate to the fact that like when you're young you don't fully know your parents and you don't really realize that they're real people. So I think this book handles that very well. I don't think a lot of us have the situation in our lives where like our parents have another family hidden away somewhere, but I do think we can all relate to the fact that like our parents are complex people, and that's something you eventually kind of figure out. And I think that's definitely something that like I'm relating to in this book, which I'm appreciating. Obviously this book wasn't written for me, I'm white, but I am appreciating what I am getting from this, and like I obviously can't speak to the representation, but I'm enjoying it a lot. I think it's a really good book. I am going to keep reading. I don't have any like bold thoughts to really give you beyond what I just said, but I'm just so excited for these girls to meet up, because I think that when you're grieving and you don't feel like you have any relatives, I think it's probably really powerful to know that like someone else out there has the same face as the person that you're mourning. At least I would assume. So anyway, I'm gonna keep reading. I'll update you guys probably when I'm finished with the book. What a perfect way to end the reading rush. Obviously this was a 5-star read. It was excellent in every way. I loved the relationship that we start to see being developed between Yahaira and Camino. I just love all of the strong women in this book and the relationships between them and the lengths that people are willing to go to fight through their grief and their anger to be there for each other. So good. I was just thinking about this while a lovely subscriber sent me this copy literally the same day that this arrived. I purchased a copy for myself. I am going to be giving away the copy that I bought for myself. So if you would like to receive a copy of this book, please leave your Instagram handle down in the comments down below so I can get in contact with you. I'm going to be having this giveaway open until Friday, this coming Friday. I'm posting this video on Monday, so Friday is the cutoff, and I will get in contact with you and I will send this book to you. I think I'm going to flash the graphic one more time and we can go through the challenges. I kind of have forgotten some of them, so let's go ahead and review and we can kind of, you know, do a final wrap up of the week. Number 1 was read a book matching the color of your birthstone. For this one I did The Groom Will Keep His Name by Matt Orteal. For number 2 it was read a book that starts with the word the, and for that one I read The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones, which was a 5-star read. Number 3, read a book that inspired a movie you've seen.
Percy Jackson, what was it? Oh, The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. Number 4, Read the First Book You Touch. Desperate Duchesses by Eloisa James, which was sadly a 2-star read. Read a book completely not in your house. Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. Number 6, read a genre that scares you or your least read genre. Again, for that one I did The Groom Will Keep His Name, nonfiction. And number 7, read a book that takes place on a different continent than yours. Also, again, Clap When You Land. So I did complete the reading rush with, I think that's 5 books. Yes. I'm pretty happy with the way the week went reading wise. It would have been cool to have read the the group read for the reading rush. I did end up buying it, but I haven't read it yet. I'll read it on my own time. And it would have been cool to read 7 books, but again, I'm not unhappy. I finished all the challenges, and 5 books in 7 days, especially when one of those days is spent pretty much entirely traveling. I think that's pretty good. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. I hope you guys maybe enjoyed some of the like more lifestyle-y content that I included. That's not something that I think is going to be in like every one of my vlogs going forward, but it is definitely something that I would like to include in some of my vlogs, just depending on what it is. So let me know if you guys enjoyed any of that or if you completely hated it and don't want any of that and just want reading content. I am totally open to suggestions. But that is it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching this long ass video. I love you guys so much, and until next time.